Well, hello, and thank you for joining us for episode 3 of my journey into bowling. Today we're going to discuss where we started and where we are in week 5. So let's start with week 1. When we went into the bowling alley, we had to set our averages for the league nights to just kind of get established and see where we were, especially being new to leagues. So on Monday nights, I set an average of 115. Wasn't the most ideal start to our league season. Wednesday nights I came in and I set an average of 121. Now what we're going to do is look at where we are at this exact moment at the end of week 5. On Monday nights, our average is now 144. That is a plus 29 point gain on our starting average in about 4 weeks. Wednesdays, we are at a 148. That is a plus 27 growth as far as our overall performance. Now, let's talk about some of the things that we have learned to do to get us there, to get ourselves set and calm from the moment we walk into the bowling alley to the moment we get ready to throw the first ball of the first frame. So let's start with our arriving to the bowling alley routine. For me, when I first started, very first week, I went in, didn't think much about it. I was just there to go bowling. Thought I could just step in and be competitive, and that was far from the truth. So what did I do and what have I done to help grow my average, those 29 points over the last 4 weeks? Well, let's start from the moment I get to the bowling alley and how early I get there. So the first time I got there, I was really just trying to be a sub, so I showed up a little early, but not too much early. Not really enough time to get warmed up or anything like that. Well, now it is my routine that I arrive to the bowling alley about an hour early. Now, the reason I do this is simply to get myself a chance to get prepped without rushing through. And when I say get prepped, me personally, I have an ankle that's flared up or acting up. So I have discovered this cool little piece of tape right here, K-tape or kinesiology tape. This tape, you can learn how to put it on a joint. Now for my ankle, I use 3 pieces. And what this allows me to do is by getting there an hour early, I can get these 3 pieces onto my ankle, rub them in, and it actually helps increase blood flow and in most cases relieves some pain or some stiffness in the joint that you're using it on. Now, the reason I get there an hour early, it allows it time to adhere well to my skin, and it's a very breathable and stretchable fabric. So I want to give it time to my ankle and that tape kind of adapt without me having to feel stiff going into the first round. Another thing I do is once I get taped up and we get closer to time, I have a heavy duty resistance band. Now, the only thing I use this for is to help loosen up my ankle even more. Even though I have K-tape on it, I want to use this to help open up some of the motion in my ankle, get it less stiff, especially considering that the angle that's giving me problems isn't my slide, it's actually my push-off foot, my push-off ankle. So I want to make sure that I get it loosened up and get it to where I'm not dealing with stiffness trying to approach the lane. The other small things that I've found myself doing are as simple as having the tools that I need ready just in case I need them. Stuff as simple as finger tape. This right here, for me, I'm a 2-handed bowler, so most of the time I don't need this, but it never hurts that I actually have it on hand for one of my teammates need it or something like that. The other thing I have, thumb tape. Now, the only time and the only reason I have thumb tape is because one of the balls I'm going to show you here in just a second, my new spare ball, actually has the thumb hole. None of my other balls do. That one does. So that is what the thumb tape for, and of course making sure that I have my leather chamois. This is, in my opinion, especially for someone that's just getting into it, one of your most important tools to make sure you're learning to use this after every time your ball goes down the alley. Now, when we first started, we were also exclusively using the Black Widow 3.0 and the Black Widow 2.0 hybrid. those were the two balls we had, and that's what we got started out in league with. Well, since then, our arsenal has grown. For those of you, I don't think I went over it last time. Let me grab this real quick. So, the newest ball we've added into or one of the newest ones, is the Venom Shock by Motive. As I said, I am a two-handed bowler, so I keep everything kind of tight. And this ball has replaced, in a sense, my 3.0 because the hybrid, it does well in mid to heavy oils, and it allows me to flare out if I need to. The Venom has a gear core in it, which allows me to stay up the middle a little bit better when I need to. It can also get out, flare out if I put the right amount of rev and push down the lane. We're learning loft a little bit, and that is also helping. So let's set this down. And then we're gonna move into the two newest balls that we've added to our arsenal. So this one right here, this is the Black Widow Viz ball. Now, I got this ball on 12 pound simply because it's strictly being used as a spare ball. I have it drilled to a very wide span, and it is on a weaker layout, in the idea that I took away, or I'm hoping to take away, some of the rotation that I get, and with the wider span it allows me not to overthrow the ball, but instead guide the ball where I want it to go. Now that's big because we're not going to strike every time, but we need a ball in our arsenal that we trust to get down to where the spare takes place at. And that's where this one comes in. And that is also where these come in, because the thumb hole, as you can see, it doesn't have an insert or anything like that. It's just basic. It's been smoothed out, but over time, when you get your thumb in there, it can catch, and that's going to tear up your thumb. So the thumb tape actually helps with that. Now the next ball, this is the debut of this ball for me anyway. It has not been drilled yet, and it is a 15 pound ball. As you can see, I'm taking it out of the plastic right in front of you guys. So I went out and got myself the Phase 2 by Storm. This one is a red velvet cake scent. I know that's funny to hear, but it's crazy when you think about each one of these balls. Hammer has the Hammer Effect, which has their scent on it. That was the first ball that Hammer has that has that scent. This particular one is the red velvet, and truthfully enough, the Venom Shock has almost a minty smell to it. Now this ball is going to be drilled to hand, and we're going to drill it to a little bit deeper pin height to allow it to get down the lane a little bit more, and hopefully get into the pocket a little bit better and break a little bit more on the back end. We're going to see how that goes. So other than that, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. The biggest key takeaway from the last 5 weeks is don't be afraid to change balls when needed. This past Wednesday, I stuck with the Venom a little bit longer than I should have. It wasn't reacting on the lane. It wasn't reading the lane the way I thought it should. And I was just like, no, this is a new ball. I wanted to keep with it. Well, in the third game, I switched to Hybrid 2.0. Or actually, midway through the second game, I switched to the Hybrid 2.0, and I noticed that the Hybrid 2.0 was doing great on the right lane, and the Venom was doing better on the left. So don't be afraid to experiment. If you notice one of your balls is doing better on one lane than the other, and you have a ball that's doing well on the other lane, split it. Allow yourself the flexibility mentally and with your arsenal to use the tools at your disposal to get the best results on the lanes. Once again, this is episode 3 of my journey into bowling, and I hope that some of this will help you out as you either want to get started in bowling or as you're trying to progress. What I'm trying to do is take things and break them down a little bit easier to understand If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'll gladly answer what I can. And if I don't know the answer, I probably know someone that does, and I can reach out and get an answer from them and find a way to break it down to where it doesn't sound like someone that's been doing this 30, 40 years and they're just spouting off, the technical jargon for it. The other thing is, and the final thing, I'll leave you with this. When you're on your approach, whether it be warm-ups, whether it be that first ball, pay attention to where you are on your approach. Too many times we go up, especially in the 10-minute warm-up time before we start league, and you're just going through and you're tossing the ball and you're tossing the ball and you're not paying attention to where your slide foot is and where your release point is. And ultimately that's what your warm-ups are for. Yes, they're to loosen up your core, your body, to allow you to make sure you're getting the ball down the lane, but that is the perfect opportunity to gauge how your ball is going to react. So on your warm-ups, take the couple balls out of your bag that you're going to want to use that night. You're going to throw on both lanes anyway. Figure out which one's working on both, and if one's not working on both, figure out which one you're going to have to use on each one. Pay attention to where your slide foot is. Pay attention to where your arm is during your release. That way you can get the most consistent run. It gives you an advantage going into the first game. That is one of the things I'm learning to do, and I'm finding that's one of the most important things to do, is finding your way to be consistent. All right, guys. Well, next week is week 6, of course. We are coming up on the end of league. I came up into it in kind of late. So you will at least get 2 more videos from me that include Monday, and I think 4 more that include Wednesdays. And then we are going to play our first tournaments in August, and we'll be able to discuss what we've learned from those and what it's like stepping into tournament play for the first time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's anything you would suggest that I can do to make these videos better, I'm a little bit more soft-spoken this afternoon. I'm in a hotel traveling, and don't want to wake anybody up. I'm just trying to be courteous. But I really wanted to get this video out to y'all because I promised y'all it would be coming. So if there's anything you guys think, guys or gals think I can do to improve these videos, we're working on getting some practice videos thrown up on this channel. That way we can discuss what we've seen, what we've learned from an amateur viewpoint. I love seeing the pros, like the Kyles, the Packies, the Darren Tangs, all of these guys do such a great job at trying to break it down, and they do an amazing job of letting us know how to fix what we're doing. All I'm trying to do is simplify that even deeper to someone that's learning it just like you are, and hopefully be able to break that down a little bit better for you to take that and pull it into your own game. All right, guys, so until next Thursday, y'all have a great afternoon, great day, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever. See you then.